Hello, welcome back to the podcast. I am so excited for this week's episode. If you're listening to this live, we are at the tail end of 2024. We are heading into 2025, and there is a piece of this work, of this podcast, of the community space that it's really all built on. And I want to extract that piece. I talk about this all the time inside of the community. We have a whole training on it in the tier 1 level, a 90-minute training on this specific piece. But I want to extract the bird's eye view of it because this work works. The amount of times I've heard that this week from clients is so freaking exciting because when you tap into the realm of energetics, it's a completely different way of doing life, and it pops you into the realm of magic and miracles. It pops you into the realm of possibility where you stop asking, why me? And start asking, why not me? If I could have, be, and do anything, what would I want? And can I live my life not always just trying to figure out the how and staying contracted from this place of not understanding how to get from here to there, or trying things on that just don't work and I can never hold them long enough, but actually stepping into the identities and the pieces of your embodiment that you really deeply care about, that you really deeply do want to expand into and be able to hold, and not just sustainably, but in a way that is fun, in a way that is life-giving, so that you are vibrating at a higher rate. It's not just good for later, it's also good for now. Your quality of life in the right now is blasting through the roof, and therefore you're in a completely different energetic place to attract people, places, epiphanies, knowings, clarity, opportunities, networks that are going to become invisible bridges for the most incredible magic and miracles to land into your life. There is an infinite web of energetic intelligence inside of your body and an infinite web of energetic intelligence outside of your body that runs this entire universe. And we are working with it in every moment. So we might as well work with it consciously. It feels like magic, but it's not. And when we start to live life through the lens of energetics, aka doing things in the zone of the belief that anything gets to be possible, then really we do start tapping into limitlessness. We really do start tapping into the, oh my gosh, it's working. The weight's coming off. I'm feeling really good in my body. My relationship is next level connection and passion and beauty that is pouring through in the relationship. My family, the connections with my family are healing. They're growing. Like impossible relationships are being healed. The energy is flowing through my body again. My purpose, my mission, the clarity is blowing me away and bringing me to my knees with tears because it is so incredibly beautiful when I unplug from business and plug into mission and all the things that get to pour through me creatively. The channel is open. I'm not striving to understand things. They're coming through me. They're flowing through me. And when I'm finding clarity by repetition in the messy middle, it's the refinement process itself is so much fun. And I don't need to know what's coming next because right now it's getting so good. So I have an idea of what I want. And I'm tapping into the energy of all the things that comes with, but I'm surrendered. And the universe is revealing itself to me one grain of clarity at a time. Oh, it's like living as an exhale, but then simultaneously collapsing time around everything that you want because it's all starting to flow to you. You've untapped that river of abundance, of connection, of love, of success, of knowing, of expansion. And you're not afraid of failing anymore. You're not afraid of succeeding anymore. You just can't wait to soak up all that life has to offer because life is finally becoming your living sanctuary. So that's what we're going to talk about today. It feels like magic, but it's not. And the best thing that I have found to really show this from a bird's eye perspective is the A to B theory. The A to B theory was one of the principal pieces that came to me in the creation process of the Sanctuary of She space. And it's one of the core pillars and teachings that the whole place has been built off of because it really shows how, though it feels like magic, it's not. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So that as we are gearing up to enter into a new year, that you can really tap into truly the realm of possibility. What if it all happened? What if it did work? What if this was the biggest plot twist year of your life? What if You allowed yourself to truly play a new game and elicit different results, where thoughts, feelings, and actions no longer kept you stagnant or bored or spiraling, but they actually started bringing so much joy and vitality and life force energy through you, because the better it gets, the better it gets. And our best keeps getting better. And the more we can hold continues to expand. So the A to B theory is what we're going to talk about today. Now, if you are watching this on YouTube, I do have a little whiteboard diagram behind me. But if you're listening to this on audio, then allow yourself to just kind of tap into this visual. It's a very simple visual, all right? We've got point A and we've got point B. Point A is where we're at right now. It's the truth, the honest truth of where we are right now, where we sit right now. The things that are working, the things that aren't working great. The truth of what we believe to be true and the truth of what we don't believe to be true about what we're capable of, right? That balance of the conscious, what we want, but also the subconscious of all the evidence that we have built up that says if we can or can't have it. B is where we want to go. And what we can't see beyond here is that there's a point C, a point D, and beyond. But we're just starting with point B. Point B typically is going to be that version of yourself that's like slightly up on a pedestal. That version of ourselves that we're like, why can't I be here? We compare ourselves to her all the time. But it's that part of you that is tapped into the things working. They don't even have to be huge yet. But when you tune into what your point B might be from where you sit right here, what does that hold? What is she doing? What is she accomplishing? What is she embodying? What is she feeling on a daily basis? What is she juggling and managing with ease? Okay, what are all the different parts of her life that are harmonious and flowing and working? How's she feeling in her body? Okay, so what we try to do a lot of the time, and this is the classic New Year's resolution, which is why it's so exciting to bring it to the podcast right now before the new year comes. But typically, the New Year's resolution says, okay, I'm at point A, but I want to be at point B. So here's my list of my New Year's resolutions that I'm going to put into effect overnight. And tomorrow morning, I'm going to wake up at point B. But this is why, come mid-January, all the gyms are empty again. This is why, come mid-January, all the habits are back again. It's because it's not who we are, and it's not sustainable. And we make it mean that there's something wrong with us when we can't wake up tomorrow and hold point B for longer than a couple hours or a couple days. But that's not it. That's not the truth. That is the natural way of going about things, because 5% of our mind can put us at point B, but our subconscious system, which is 95% of our thoughts, feelings, and actions, they've been the same day to day. So we can get this pop into B, but then you're slowly going to drift back to A. So we've got to start at the subconscious place. We've got to tap into identity is repeated beingness. Intentionality is key. Consistency over perfection. Tapping into the compound effect, where we don't try to become B overnight, but instead we root down so deeply into the truth of A, and we start fine-tuning and refining, and days turn to weeks, turn to months. What we can hold continues to expand, our best keeps getting better, and we tap into that compound effect, where the universe starts to take the wind of our sails and we start expanding. Okay, there's these circles, this like spiral of circles coming off of point A, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. That's our expanding from point A, and then what do you know? It gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and naturally, then it's holding point B. And then it holds point C and beyond. This is the power of working with energetics to move towards all that you seek in a way that is sustainable, so that you actually can have, be, and do everything you seek. But it's not because you're putting on the persona and trying with your might to hold it. That's not who you are. You are who you are, right here at point A. So we start there and we allow yourself to compound with refinement and intentionality, day by day, week by week, month by month. tapping into the compound effect, and then boom, before you know it, you are holding B. But it's not built on sand, it's built on concrete. It's who you are. So you trust yourself to hold it. And then you trust yourself to keep expanding into point C. Okay? So this diagram behind me shows that. It shows the expansion. And the beautiful thing is that the bigger that expansion gets, with every new point that it hits on the line on the way from A to B, you have access to deeper and deeper clarity, deeper and deeper knowings, deeper and deeper epiphanies, deeper and deeper magic. But it's not because you're sitting at A trying to figure out how to get to B. It's because you're becoming B through every wave of expansion, and then you're a match for deeper and deeper levels of knowing and clarity and refinement towards all it is that you seek. There's another thing about this. It's not linear, right? The circles keep growing, but growth is not linear. Energy is not something that's tangible. It's something that's felt, something that's moving through you. Some days you're in your high vibration, some days you're in your low vibration. The real flex is when you can be at either and you're still in your power, right? That's, whoa, life takes on a really cool edge when we don't lose our center, no matter what the human is going through. Okay, that's a whole other conversation. But because growth is not linear, this expansion is going to kind of look like a living, breathing bubble for a while, right? You're going to have an expansion and then it's going to be a little contraction and then an expansion and then there's a contraction and it's getting bigger and then it's getting a little smaller and then bigger and then it's getting a little smaller on its way from A to B. And we don't make the little contractions mean anything other than a place to look around and see, oh, what's getting triggered in the subconscious right now? What, like we talked about in a few episodes ago, about the analogy and the metaphor of the polarity of embracing contraction after expansion. It just shows us what needs to be cleaned up. It illuminates what's ready to be given attention so that we can alchemize it and expand past it. But when we expand every time, we're expanding a bit bigger. And though we're contracting and it's all part of it, right? Look at our lungs, look at the waves in the ocean. It's all part of it. When we expand and we reach new edges, wow. And then when we contract, we're not shrinking back to as small as our field was when we started this. Yes, there's a little contraction as we're navigating, as we're moving through some of the things that we're still working through, that we're still letting go of, that we're still cleaning up the energy leaks from. But as we are contracting, even at some point, that contraction is still bigger than the first expansions. So this is how we learn to trust ourselves. Our biggest fear is not that we're inadequate, it's that we're powerful beyond measure. It's our light, not our darkness, that scares us the most. And when you start playing with this and you start feeling that, you start experiencing that, and you start getting access to this free flow of infinite intelligence that you are part of, not separate from, life becomes this beautiful ride where it's no longer about this narrow vision of I want this specific material thing that I'm manifesting into my life, but rather, how good can it get when I'm focused every day on my own energetics and I'm letting the universe take the wind of my sails and reveal itself to me of how good it can get. This is how we collapse time. This is how we jump timelines. This is how we create whole entire new paradigms, okay? So this conversation in itself, like I said, we have a 90-minute training that breaks this down. Like, it is one of the OG trainings in the Sanctuary of She community. It is incredible. You will be vibrating by the end of it. That really breaks down the quantum mechanics of how to incorporate this into your life. It's called Trajectory. Like I said, it's a 90-minute training. It's available at the tier 1 level, which is just $22 a month. And it's become an annual training. So there's also a Trajectory 2.0 that was filmed a year ago where I was at my point B. And so it's my vantage point of this energetic system and then using the technology of Sanctuary of She from point B. And then this last week, I just recorded Trajectory 3.0 that's available in tier 2. And 3.0, you guys, I have gotten to my point C. And 3.0 is the vantage point from that. And they all flow together. They're really, really powerful trainings. So you can take this, and if you really want to just understand energetics at a deeper, deeper, deeper level, I highly recommend these trainings. I also have one on the deep quantum mechanics of the power of one day at a time. It's called The Portal to It All is Today. That is the tagline for Sanctuary of She. And we have a whole 2-part audio training in tier 2 for that as well. So just so you know, if you are like looking at 2025 and you're like, why not? Why not play a bigger game? Why not go all in and just see what happens? And why not do it through the lens of energetics, which is not only, like we said, good for not just later, but also now. It improves your quality of life, but it's so much fun. It's so much fun. Like, is there really many things that you can tap into that's so much fun in the now and in the later? And it's going to bring about the most miraculous, like, who even knows what in the quantum field, right? This is the beauty of it. And you start feeling it the instant you start working with it. So those are in there. But outside of 2025, when you're looking in, if this were to be true, the A to B theory, what would that get to mean for you? What would it get to mean for what gets to be possible for your year? What does that get to mean for the way that it would touch every single aspect of your life? What would that get to mean for what you get to feel on a daily basis as you're experiencing that version of yourself? What would it get to mean for what got to be possible for you? What was once caged in your own limiting beliefs? And you realize there never was a cage. It was just you protecting yourself from your limitlessness. Like, what could happen? What do you have to lose? Why not? And yes, it brings up everything, right? Sanctuary of She. She stands for soul, human, energy. Soul is all about, what is your be? What is the big idea? Where are you going? What do you want? What fuels you? What would be so exciting? And then human is all about, how does your human feel about that? What are all the ways that your subconscious 95% system that has been building evidence about what's possible and not possible since you could walk and talk, what are all the ways that that tries to protect you and keep you small and procrastinate and resist? And are you willing to alchemize that one by one? Let the energetic pimples come up and pop and experience yourself in your full power when you're not leaking your energy through all of your silly little ways that we do to self-sabotage ourselves. And then energy is, how do you hold both at the same time and just do it? That inner warrior, the one who says, my word is my law, the one who strengthens and solidifies her energetic signal that's going out so that her manifestations and what's coming in gets clear and clear, crystallized, refined. Okay? Soul, human, energy, the triangle of energetics, the technology of Sanctuary of She, it is so powerful, right? So who would you get to be if the next few months, the next year, you could tap into your B, you could tap into your C? In the Sanctuary of She community, we don't even do New Year's resolutions, right? Because of this, first of all, because we can't try to become something overnight. We've got to root down and really do the work in the daily, weekly, monthly experience, which is what the Sunday ceremonies are all about, is compounding that. But we don't do New Year's resolutions, right? Because when we're living like this, we have no idea who we're going to be in a month. We have no idea who we're going to be in 6 months. So we're doing ourselves a disservice by creating a resolution that says, this is who I'm going to be for the whole year. That's like a cage in itself, right? So we do New Year's resolution, which is a completely different way of taking on the embodiment of what gets to be possible by playing in the realm of possibility in Sanctuary of She. And that's a training that we do in tier 2 in January. So if you want to join us for that, and we actually create our New Year's resolutions through the lens of energetics to set the year up in such a powerful way that also leaves endless room for limitlessness, come join us for that as well. I'm going to be doing an episode, I think, next week, where I'm going to really break down all the different ways that we can work together in 2025, all the different ways that Sanctuary of She can support you on this journey. So if you're kind of like, okay, can you tell me more about this? Can you tell me more about this? Can you tell me more about this? The episode next week, I'm going to break down all the ways that we can work together, okay, in 2025, so that you know exactly how you want to tap in, exactly how this work can help you, and so that you get to decide for yourself exactly how deep you want to go all in. Because once you start playing, your world starts shifting immediately. But standing on the outside, tuning into your point A, tuning into what would point B look like? Tuning into, whoa, past there, like, what would point C look like? Probably can't even see D from here, right? That just feels like impossible. Let me tell you, as someone who has fully arrived at my point C, this is the most powerful work in the world. This is the greatest tool we can have in the human experience. And it really does allow you to create anything for yourself. The universe literally rearranges itself when you decide who you are and what gets to be possible for you. And I want 2025 to be the biggest, most expansive, joy-filled year of your life, where you experience new parts of yourself, where you tap into the pieces of yourself that you've been trying for so long, that you've been sabotaging or procrastinating or stopping or circling around, and then you lose all energy and you have to wait till you can summon the energy up just to try to become point B overnight again. No more of that. This is your time. This is your life. This is your life. We get one chance to live 2025. Play all out. What do you have to lose? Magic is waiting for you and trying to reach you, but consciousness opens up the door. You've got to align yourself to what you seek, and it will come to you. So, A to B theory, keep this in the back of your mind as you're sitting in these final weeks of 2024, or if you're not listening to this live, at this point in time that you're finding this episode, what does this get to mean for you? As you're sitting at your point A in deep honesty, but you finally let yourself know that not just point B is possible, but point C, D, and beyond. Then we're on a ride that feels like magic, but it's not. Just like the law of gravity holding you on the ground right now, these energetic laws are at play in every single moment. You're working with it already. You might as well be doing it in a way that allows joy, connection, love, freedom, abundance, success, because life is meant to be lived. This human experience is a gift. And we're not just doing it for the point B or the point C or beyond. We're doing it for the now. Today is the gift. The portal to it all is today. So sit with this as you go into this new year and maybe your New Year's resolution and all the ways that you normally approach this. How do you want to do it different? How do you want to play a little different? How do you want to think different thoughts, feel different feelings, and take different actions? And if you want to do it with us, you know where to find us. The link is always in the show notes of all of these episodes. A to B theory. Feels like magic, but it's not. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll see you very soon.